Hey guys, it's Doom49, and in my live stream, I decided to start ranting about Battlefield, games developed by EA and the games developed by Ubisoft, and comparing the two in a way, and also comparing it to Hardline and all the other things. And I do want to know your opinion on all of this, so leave your comments down below to everything regarding this video. So anyway, I'll let it start here, and I'll see you guys at the end of this.
I think,
that was a great map.
You know, at the end of the day, I'm going to put this out there. I really think they need to just port over all the Battlefield 3 maps. I don't care how long it takes, just fucking do it. Port them all over, put them in, and let's get this show on the road. You know what I mean?
I gotta agree with that.
Because I mean, look at Counter-Strike. Every Counter-Strike title that's come out, every single Counter-Strike map, this is literally Counter-Strike for you guys, okay? Counter-Strike 1.6 to Counter-Strike Source. Every single map from there, Dust 2, Inferno, Nuke, all those maps put into Counter-Strike Source. Same thing from Counter-Strike Source to Counter-Strike Go. And look at Counter-Strike Go. It is the top seller on Steam right now, the most played game. It is an incredible game. Two aspects, because it is a competitive game, and it's really fucking fun, and people love the maps. So if DICE actually just fucking ports over every single Battlefield map over from Battlefield 3 to Battlefield 4, sure, I guess leave out one or two, like the crappiest maps, right? Nobody cares about those.
And no matter what, though, no matter what, people will complain about it. Oh, they just ported out the same maps from the last
Who cares? Who gives a shit, right? Who gives a shit, right? I mean, like, you're gonna have people bitching, but at the end of the day, is the game fun? That's what matters. Who gives a shit about people bitching? Like, people are, like, I'll tell you right now, Hardline, people are bitching about Hardline, but I can already see the future. People are gonna play fucking Hardline. I don't care what anybody says, you will fucking play it. You will spend that $10 on Christmas Day when they put it on sale. You will spend that fucking money to buy that game, because that game is worth, in anybody's opinion, $10 at least. Even if you gotta wait, like, 6 months before it costs that much. Still, you are gonna buy that game. It's a fucking fun game. People are going to bitch about it, sure, but when it gets released, guess what's going to happen? The reviews are going to be fucking phenomenal for the game because of how well it is.
Yeah. And it's being developed by Visceral. Didn't they make
Visceral? Guys, remember Battlefield 3. Okay, guys, get your mind working on Battlefield 3 here. Remember Battlefield 3 Aftermath. Remember that DLC with the shockwaves? That amazing design DLC? Like, they actually took some fucking time to make that DLC. That DLC was made 100% by Visceral. That is why DICE was like, you guys are going to work on Battlefield Hardline. Visceral did fucking Aftermath DLC. Remember how nice that fucking DLC was? Visceral did that, okay? So DICE teamed up with Visceral, and together they work on Battlefield Hardline. So Battlefield Hardline is in no way a bad game. It is going to be a fucking fun game. The only reason it's bad is because people are like, they shouldn't have called it the Battlefield title, which is true. It should only be called Hardline. I agree 100%. They're not going for a very Battlefield approach. They're going more of a cop Bruce Roberts approach, so you're not going to get, like, massive explosions and stuff. You're going to get, like, actual SWAT-type weapons. What are you giggling about?
I'm riding a tank like a bull. Ah, he ran me over.
Now, another thing I want to put out there. So, what games did Visceral work on? What were the games prior to...
I keep wanting to say Planetside, but it's not Planetside.
No, it's not. I know it's like...
Lost
no,
something?
No, it's not Lost Planet. Dead Space.
Dead Space.
Yeah, so Visceral worked on Dead Space. Remember the single-player storyline of Dead Space? I know the two games are different, comparing Battlefield type of game to a Dead Space type of game. They're two different games, sure. But let's look at the storyline of single-player, okay? Compare that, and let's think about that for a Battlefield Hardline type of approach. How good do you think that's going to be? I don't know. I think we're going to be looking at a pretty decent single-player at least. Like... They need to... I feel like... Like, I'm not gonna lie, but I feel like the single player isn't gonna be that great. Because, like, what are you gonna be able to do with a single player of a cop versus robbers and criminals, right? What's the most that's gonna happen with a single player? Now, keep in mind, I haven't really played the single player when I was there. I've only gotten, like, a little bit of experience on it, you know, just to say, yeah, you know, like, what I liked, what I didn't like, that's about it. I didn't get to play the full single player and see the whole storyline or anything like that. But what I can say is, I want single-player storylines that make you, like...
God damn it, Johnny Bravo.
Like, you feel like you're part of the story. Do you know what I mean?
It looks like the single player is going to be kind of like a Far Cry mix, Battlefield mix thing. Like, you have a PLD or whatever that you use to spot your enemies. You can tactically take out the base.
You mean Watch Dogs? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, yeah, Far Cry.
Far Cry.
Far Cry. Yeah, I'll agree on that. It does feel like a Far Cry. You can either choose to go stealthy or go in there hard. But the thing is, the single player and multiplayer are two different things, completely different. And what I don't like, I'll tell you right now, they're focusing... I don't know who's in charge of their advertising, but I feel like they're doing it all wrong. They're focusing more... Look at this guy just dancing in front of me. They're focusing more on the promotion of the single player and not the multiplayer. And the majority of the money, like, people are buying the game for the multiplayer. Let's be honest. There's only a handful of people that buy it for the single player, right? I'd say about... If you're to split it up into 3 folds, I'd say about 2/3 of the people buying the game are going to play the single player and the multiplayer, and they're going to focus heavily on the multiplayer. And only 1/3 is going to really be getting it for just the single player aspect, and then later on play the multiplayer. So, with that regard, why are you focusing on mainly, especially with a title like Battlefield Hardline? My key thing here is Battlefield. You know the Battlefield guys are there for the multiplayer only. They don't really care about the single player. I mean, they'll play it at one point or another, but they care more about the multiplayer. So if you're going to advertise that, why are you showing only promotional aspects of just the single player? And showing some, like, Far Cry... Jonesy, god damn it.
I killed you, you son of a bitch. I killed you.
And why are you showing just an aspect of, like, the cool things you can do in single player? I think they should be focusing more on the multiplayer than the single player.
Can I stop and answer Diction Kitchens? That's a great name. Question. I don't think they'll ever make another like something similar to Battlefield 2 because times have changed. I mean, they just don't develop games the way they did with Battlefield 2. It seems like
Battlefield 2 was a hardcore game. I'll tell you that much. It was very hard.
I mean, like I remember you could like take out bridges and repair bridges and stuff, and for some reason they think that's something that you can't put in a modern game.
You know what? That's actually, I would love to see that. But let me tell you something. I'll tell you something here. The developers, I think, are pretty smart though, because what they'll do over time, if you noticed, Jonesy, as time went by, remember Bad Company 2? Look at how much items we were given in there. It wasn't a lot. Am I right? We didn't get that many weapons. We didn't get that many maps. We didn't get that many vehicles.
It was simple. It was simple.
Very simple, really fucking fun. Okay? But comparing that to Battlefield 2, totally different. Totally different. Battlefield 2 had more to it. Way, way more. Then Battlefield 3 comes out. Battlefield 3 was really fun. Didn't really match Battlefield 2. But if you notice, going on to Battlefield 4, you get more things put in. So I think as the next title comes out, we're going to see more of like things from Battlefield 2 going to start being put in. Like as more and more titles come out, more things are going to be put in.
Yeah. Even Battlefield 3 was overhyped. I mean, coming from Battlefield or Bad Company 2, I was playing console at the time, but I was still really overly hyped for Battlefield 3. I was expecting a Battlefield 2 type of game, and it kind of fell short on that.
Yeah, Battlefield. Remember the glitches in Battlefield 3 when they fucking came out with that? Fucking, we got the sideways spaghetti man running in there. And we got the long neck dude. Like, there were so many fucking bugs in that game, I was gonna cry from how bad this was bugging. And they were like, yeah, guys, this is a beta, please play it. And it's like, how the fuck is this a beta? You can't even play it. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, on top of all of that, fucking, we still played it. We still loved it. We still enjoyed the shit out of it. And then Battlefield 4 comes out, and nobody, like, fucking, it was barely even glitchy. Not as bad as Battlefield 3. Not as bad as Battlefield 3. It was very playable, way more player than Battlefield 3. But everybody was bitching. Everybody was bitching about it. Which is true. I give him that, because after a while playing the game, you realize how buggy and stuff it was. But I feel like people are just jumping on bandwagons. You know what I mean? Like, they go from not complaining about Battlefield 3 to suddenly complaining about Battlefield 4, and it's not even that glitchy when it first comes out.
I took out the chopper! I took out the chopper! I spawned and took out the chopper!
Look at CTE. That shit got made because everybody was complaining about Battlefield 4 being glitchy. Ubisoft wouldn't give a fuck about that. They wouldn't even dare try to fix the game. They'd just be like, yeah, we'll just make it so you can play it. We don't care. That's it. You already paid it. You already paid your money. We got your money. You're playing the game. We don't care. EA at least fucking stepped up to the fact that they gave us a glitchy fucking Battlefield 4, and they got a crew working on the game, and they're giving us all these extra shits when they shouldn't. They don't have to. They did it because they care about us. That's what fucking EA did with Battlefield 4. CTE wouldn't exist if it wasn't for us complaining to get it fixed. We're fucking, what was it, CNN came out with that thing about Assassin's Creed Unity being extremely glitchy. Do you think Ubisoft cares? They didn't even fucking dare to fix it. Well, maybe they did come out with a patch to fix it, but they're not giving anything else. They're not giving you other extra content features to people who bought the game. They're not doing what Battlefield would do with CTE and saying, look, here, we're going to give you extra stuff to the game. So, to me, Ubisoft, like, they're horrible. They're the worst gaming developing. Any game they come out with is horrible. And it freaking bugs me because there's these new games that are coming out, like Rainbow Six. I swear to God, if they ruin Rainbow Six, that game is going to, it looks so fucking good. And that game has
loved Vegas.
I know, and it has such a good title to it. If they ruin that game, oh my God, I'm going to be so mad. I get that Ubisoft is the one publishing stuff, I do. It's kind of like EA's the one that publishes stuff, I get that. But like, look at every game made by EA. Have you guys played Dragon Age Inquisition? That game's fucking incredible. Incredible game. I played it on the stream. Holy shit, it got Game of the Year and it well deserved it. It so fucking deserved Game of the Year. Alright? Let's look at Battlefield 4. I know they came out with a little bit of fuck up, but look, they're coming out with CTE to fix it. Hardline. I know you guys are complaining a bit about it because you think it's a DLC, but I can tell you right now, they are changing the game. What developer goes out of their way, okay? What publisher goes out of their way to fly people out, people that are known in the community, like myself, professional players that play the game on a pro level, they fly out streamers that stream it like constantly with a lot of people viewing them. What developer does that? To not to pay them to say good things about the game, but to get them to say, tell us what you think is wrong with this game so we can make it better. That's what they ask. Who does that? EA is the only one I've seen to ever do that, okay? Ubisoft will never do that. Let me tell you something. Jonesy, screw you. They don't say, hey, you got to show the game in a good light. They just, like, remember the Hardline footage that I showed you guys? Remember that? That's exclusive footage. That exclusive footage of Hardline. We were showing you glitches upon glitches in that exclusive footage, and all we had, EA told us, look, we know the game's glitchy. We're still developing it. Just tell them that it's still in development. That's what EA told us. And I think you guys are right about EA being like money whores before, but I feel like now they've changed and they've really stepped up their game. They've really changed their character. And Ubisoft has really fucking dug themselves a grave. That's why I'm so worked up and angry about Ubisoft. They're like, how could you just fucking, like, I don't understand it. Aren't you like, personally, if I was a game developer, I'm developing a game that's going to be enjoyable, that's loved by people, and like, you want people to enjoy your game, playing it constantly, talking about it all the time. I don't want fucking to build a game just so people can trash talk it. Like, how do you feel? Like, imagine the guys that made Assassin's Creed, how they felt. When fucking CNN's like, oh look, this game's fucking broken by Ubisoft. Imagine the developers. Like, they work their ass off on a game just so it can be shit talked by the entire world. So I don't think you should be doing that. I think you should be focusing on a game that's loved by everybody and always talked about. That's what you should be focusing on.
So like I said, guys, I would love to hear your opinion on everything that was ranted about here, so leave a comment down below. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and let me know if you guys want to see more things like this, and I'll see you guys later.